Last week I came across this new note app called Omni. It seems very unique and cool, so I wanted to play with it and share what it's like with you guys. It's hard to explain this app in a few words, but it's an interesting writing app with an AI assistant. But it's not like the ones you've seen before. It's definitely one of the new generation note apps in my opinion. So this is how its web app looks like. It has multiple panes like in Obsidian, and you're going to be mostly working on the left panel. Whether you're writing an academic essay or your next blog post, you can start writing here. But this is the cool part. As you write, it uses your writing as a query for your knowledge base and brings up relevant passages from articles and books. And then you can dig deeper into each passage if you need to see the context, which will be displayed in the central panel, and you can keep reading it if you like. And then you could also go to another book or article, but you don't have to worry about the ones you opened previously because it keeps a record at the bottom of the central panel, so you can always go back to where you were. Also, if you select a specific word, sentence or paragraph, it will use it to find relevant information from your database. This makes it very easy to find links between ideas because you don't have to manually search through your database, find the ones you're looking for, and then go back and forth between pages. But there's more. Like many AI apps these days, you can ask it to write for you using prompts. So by default, your prompt is set to continue writing. By hitting the generate button or press Command G, it will generate content based on what you wrote so far. This process takes a while, like 15 to 20 seconds, but then once it's done, you get a few ideas to choose from. You can then pick one and copy and paste it. But there are other prompts too. So at first you have two more, contradiction and tweetify. Contradiction literally gives you a counter argument for your point, and tweetify will generate a tweet about the topic you provided. But you can add more, as many as you like. I added a few, like summarize and explain. Anyway, this is not even the coolest part yet. I think the best thing about Omni is that you can upload your own dataset for the AI to use. Let me show you what I mean. From this menu, you can see I have different datasets such as Nietzsche, Elon, and brain pickings. These are all pre-installed datasets that you can use right away. So Nietzsche dataset contains all the things in his books and writings. For example, you can enter some query and it will give you relevant ideas from him. In a way, it's like you can directly interact with his books, like asking questions and writing about something based on his ideas. It's the same case for Elon dataset, which I believe contains passages from books and articles about him. Then there are lots of other datasets for blogs by famous writers. You probably know James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits, and there's Wait But Why, which is another extremely popular blog. These datasets contain most of the writings by them, so it's easy for you to browse their ideas. But if you have your own favorite writers, you can upload their blogs as a dataset just by copying and pasting the URLs. And this upload process can take ages in my experience, like hours, but it is easy, you just have to be patient. Anyway, my most favorite part of this app is that you can upload your own notes as a dataset too. So I used a note app called Logseek as my note app for a long time. So I uploaded its folder to Omni, which took like an entire day because I have thousands of notes, but it was worth the wait. I can now choose my notes as a dataset and browse them and find useful, relevant ideas as I write. Even ask questions and then Omni gives me an answer based on my notes. This is really cool because it feels like you have GPT-3 that is trained with your own data. To me, this feels significant because with most of the existing AI apps, you cannot choose which dataset the AI is going to use. So what they generate is very generic, which is why I almost never use those AI apps for my own content. But this changes that because it can now use my own data to write, like how I write. Anyway, if you've been using a note app like Evernote, Obsidian, or Logseek, or whatever else, you should give it a try because it's pretty cool. You can simply export your notes and then upload them as a dataset. Of course, if you have sensitive information in your notes, you might want to avoid uploading that, but if not, it's great. It doesn't have to be your notes though. You can upload Google Docs, ebooks, PDFs, or even an entire Google Drive. So if you want to make some documents easily searchable and use them for writing, this can be a game changer. Omni also comes with a Chrome extension, which is kind of like a mini version of the web app that you can use on any website. You can open this sidebar with a keyboard shortcut, which is Command E on Mac. There are a few ways to use this. For example, when you're browsing on the internet, you could highlight a part and then Omni will show you relevant passages from the datasets. Or you could use a prompt like summarize, which will summarize the highlighted part for you. Another useful one is explain prompt when you are reading about difficult concepts. Since you can use this on any website, you could try it on your favorite writing app. If you like Google Docs, you can have Omni in the sidebar. This way you can always find references and get some writing help from AI. As you type, it will use that as a query to pick up relevant information for you, which saves you tons of time from manually typing query in the search bar. And then if you wanted to write for you, you can just use this generate button. Here you can customize which dataset and prompt it will use. Obviously, the results will change depending on what you choose in here. I think using your own notes would be the best option to avoid that genericness of AI writing. By the way, another useful Chrome extension you should get is TextBlaze, who is currently sponsoring this video. You may have heard of it because it's one of the most popular browser extensions, and also it's available as a Windows app. It's a text expander that allows you to quickly insert pre-written text snippets anywhere you can type. This can save you a lot of time, especially if you often type the same phrases or sentences. For example, I have to reply to many emails every day, and instead of typing the same things again and again, I can just make a snippet with TextBlaze. Then I just need to type the shortcut, which saves hours of my time every week. But that's the most basic use case of TextBlaze. It has a massive library of templates you can install depending on your workflows and jobs, so I'm sure you will find ones that you can save you tons of time. But with the recent integration with AI, TextBlaze is becoming even more useful. You can now incorporate some AI elements into snippets. For example, it can generate a whole reply to an email for you. You just have to write the main point, and then it will be rewritten so it sounds polite and ready to be sent right away. And there are a lot of more cool templates like email thread summarizer and grammar correction, so definitely give it a try and play with it. I'm sure you will find it useful. You can install it right now from the link in the description. Thanks. Okay, there's actually more to Omni. It is this ChatGPT style chat mode. It's similar to the original that you can have conversation and save them as threads, but it feels a little bit slower than ChatGPT. Anyway, a big difference is that you can select which dataset you talk to. So if you select your notes dataset, it's like talking to your own knowledge base. You could ask questions about what you've written and read before. It's pretty cool that you can create a chatbot that is trained with your own data. Also, it's a nice way of reviewing what you learned. A cool thing is that it also gives you the list of pages that the answer is based on, so you can check its sources. And this is actually a great alternative to that normal search a typical note app has. Instead of manually having to find information you need, you can ask AI to fetch it for you. I think this is going to be a new trend in note apps, having AI help you search. Anyway, I imagine this is going to be useful in many situations. If you're a student, for example, you can upload a bunch of academic papers as PDFs and then ask questions about them or get a summary and so on. I have to say, I really like this product. Its idea is brilliant, and I feel like it's a big step forward towards the next level AI integration with note apps. But obviously, there are a few things missing. First of all, uploading a dataset feels a bit tedious. I wish there was an automatic sync option instead of having to upload every time. Things like readwise integration would be useful too. Also, there's no option to add a new file to an existing dataset, so new files are gonna have to be a whole new dataset. And then your note that you wrote inside the web app will not be saved to a dataset, so once you're done writing it, it's just gone. You can't save it unless you copy and paste it into another note app. I wish there was an option to add the notes to a dataset. And the Chrome extension could be better too. For example, it would be useful if you could highlight a text and have an option to directly save it to a dataset instead of having to upload it. Also, I can't figure out what this chat mode does. I tried toggling on and off, but it doesn't do anything. So if you know, please help me. Alright, despite all of this, I love the idea of the product and I can see a massive potential. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it develops. If you want to know more AI note apps, you might want to watch this video. Alright, thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye!